Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Exotic Wine Travel. Today we're going to do another storytelling episode. As you can see, our journey so far through central Serbia has gotten us quite a few bottles. So I'm going to tell some stories. I'm not going to really score or rate these wines. I'm just going to tell you about the story and the people behind them, because central Serbia is a place that really have touched Shireen and I's heart. So most of these wines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them are from Župa. And then one's from a little bit north of here, and I'll get into that. First, we're going to talk about the wines from Župa. I keep saying it over and over in a couple of videos. The people from Župa are just incredibly hospitable. Every time we go in for a tasting, we'd stay there forever. They would give us so many gifts to take us out to eat. We drank probably a little bit too much. So much, in fact, that Shireen did not want to extend a day there. She wanted to go as quickly as possible. So let me get into this. This is the first one. Recommending it's Gar. It's in the town of Garavina, just a part of Župa. Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot. This is 2012. He actually exports this, and it's known as Chateau Damjanović. That's what it's known as in the States. Now, the thing about this guy, we couldn't speak one word to him. He spoke just a few words of English. He took us into his house and opened all of his wines, all 5 of his wines for us to try. Then after that, he made us coffee. He brought us out some rakia, some whiskey. And I don't drink rakia or whiskey. And he would just keep pouring, topping up, slamming it. And we didn't know what to... He kept saying, I like. And we had to get out of there because we would have been just stuck there all day. But Shireen even noticed when we pulled out of his driveway, she said, oh, he looks kind of sad. So that was an interesting story. The next one we have here is this guy right here. He's probably the only guy that makes Pinot Noir, just Pinot Noir wines in Župa. He was just down the road. This is Vinogradi, or wine cellar, Botunjać. This is the Pinot Budimir. This is a Pinot Noir from 2013. This is also exported to Chicago in the USA. This is an interesting guy. He's an artist. You can't really see. There's a picture of a dog here that one of his dogs he drew. All his labels he drew himself. He's an artist. I'll never forget when we pulled up to his house. It was just a simple house. His wine cellar was it looked like a beat up garage, and we were walking around in the middle of nowhere and his property, and I heard him just hitting something with a hammer, and we asked if we could taste, and he was working in his cellar in his little barn. He put his hammer down, took us into his house, this humble, simple country home. Him and his wife gave us food, snacks. He opened up this. He opened up a bottle of 2007 Pinot Noir he only had 3 bottles left, and he opened and shared with us. He opened all his white wine. Then after that, after about 3-4 hours of tasting, we couldn't communicate with him very much. Him and then his friend took us out to dinner to the best restaurant in town. So we started at 2, it ended up being to 8. That was touching as well. We also have here a couple of Prokupać. This is Ivanović. I interviewed him in one show. This is his Prokupać from 2014, also exported into Chicago. When we came and talked to this guy, he speaks awesome English. And what happens is we sat down. It was really cold. We sat in his cellar, and he told us of all these stories about his great-great-grandfather making wine. During the Yugoslavian time, all the property was taken from them. He returned, started making wine. I remember he was getting his wood stove all fired up. And he said, it's really cold, so we're either going to have to put in a lot of wood or we're going to have to drink really fast. Anyways, we started tasting with him at 2 o'clock. And he brought all his wines, his special sweet wine. We didn't finish till 8:30 p.m. And he still wanted to go even further. Sure. He also gave us an awesome lamb dish. Probably the best loaf of bread I've ever had in my life that his wife had just cooked. Came out of the oven, piping hot. Wasn't a bad dish, right, Shireen? It was pretty good. So the last one was Shireen and I's probably favorite wine of Župa. This is the label that he uses to export into Germany. This is called the Experiment. Let me see if you can see that. Prokupać. Now this guy, he has the highest elevation vineyards in Alexandrovitz, in Župa. and we took our car. He picked us up at 8 in the morning, drove us up this hill. His village maybe had 10 houses in it. He said there's only 10 houses in the village. The road was a single dirt track. I have a real compact car with skinny wheels. We were sliding all over, and it was incredible. He opened his cellar, very simple. He only started making wine 3 or 4 years ago, and his wines are already fantastic. He's got the highest vineyards in Župa. We're going to do, I'll do a tasting episode with Prokupać because I really like the local variety here. The last 2 wines I'm going to share is, this is the Vino Budimir Predicat X. Now, this is an interesting blend. This is 2009. This is a blend of Prokupać, the local variety here, Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Pinot Noir. Now, the interesting thing about Budimir, all the wineries in Aleksandrović, the city of Župa, are really small, family-run, basically run out of their house. This guy's the only one that's more commercial. He's the only wine in Serbia that have had his wine scored by Robert Parker. We tasted all the wines. I have to admit, he makes one Riesling. It was 91 points, Robert Parker, and it was phenomenal. But he also had a red blend that was 91 points, Robert Parker, and I wasn't so high on. This was very interesting. He had another inexpensive Merlot Prokupać for $7, $8. I thought those wines were way more interesting. So those are from Župa. The last wine we're going to actually taste is this bad boy right here. This is kind of a mythical wine here in Serbia. This is the Radovanović Cabernet Sauvignon Reserve, made for the 25th year anniversary of the winery. Now, this is by far the most expensive wine in Serbia, especially that we found. The seller price was about $55 US. I think the next closest, I sang a couple of wines, they're $20, $30 US, or quite a bit. This is 55, so this is on the super high end. Everybody has a high level of respect for Radovanović because after Yugoslavia broke up, Serbia became Serbia. Basically, he was one of the first guys to produce a private label, a private winery with nice labels, high quality wines. So all the winemakers we know talk about him and respect him. And let's give this bad boy a taste here. Now, when we went to visit at his winery, we noticed that a lot of his reserve wines were high use of berry. They used Serbian oak, they used French oak, some American, a lot of oak influences. Shireen actually loved the Chardonnay coming out of there. Now, nice dark color, but not super opaque where I can't see through. It's in between. It's in between a deep purple and moving towards violet, so you can kind of see. Let's give this a smell. Cabernet smell, so you get a lot of black fruit, a little bell pepper. I smell the wood, the slight hint of vanilla, just slight. A certain richness. There's definitely layers in this wine. Some wine people say this is maybe one of the best, maybe top 2 reds here in Serbia. Some raspberry, some blue fruits come out. Let me give this a taste. A lot of the oaked wines here in Serbia, I gotta say, it's a perfect blend for me between, especially like the Bordeaux blends, Bordeaux old school, really herby, really dirty, very rich, and the California Cabernets, bit fruity, vanilla, caramel, all over, big fruit bombs, high alcohol. Some of these Serbian reds are right in between. I mean, this is, and this is just open, it's not decanted. I'm gonna, hold on one second. So many layers of texture, the oak is well integrated. I'm gonna give this wine, for my palate, 91 plus points. Fantastic, fantastic wine. We're gonna enjoy it right now over some lunch, some cold cuts. I hope you like some of the storytelling. Sorry I didn't drink all these wines here. I can't do that this time. If you liked the video, please share with your friends, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Exotic Wine Travel, and I'll see you at the next video.